You've been lied to about sleep. What if I told you that the last 10 minutes before you close your eyes could change your entire next day? And no, this isn't another think positive lecture. This is something deeper, something monks have used for centuries. Most people crash into bed exhausted, scroll until their eyes hurt, then wonder why they wake up feeling drained. But there's a way to flip that, a simple practice, not about doing more, but about undoing what's holding you back. Let's talk about why this works and how to do it right. The nighttime mind trap. You ever notice how the second your head hits the pillow, your brain suddenly remembers everything, that thing you said 5 years ago, the email you forgot to send, the way your coworker looked at you sideways. It's like your mind waits until you're horizontal to unleash the chaos. And here's the thing, it's not random. Your brain doesn't just happen to torture you at night. It's doing exactly what you trained it to do. Think about what most people do before bed. Scrolling, worrying, replaying conversations, mentally drafting tomorrow's to-do list. You're basically marinating your mind in stress broth. Then you wonder why you wake up feeling like you fought a war in your sleep. Here's the truth. The last thoughts you entertain before closing your eyes don't just disappear. They simmer. They shape how you sleep, how you dream, and how you wake up. This isn't some mystical idea. Science backs it. Your brain uses sleep to consolidate memories, process emotions, and reset your nervous system. But if you feed it chaos right before bed, that's what it works with. Imagine baking a cake, but throwing in salt instead of sugar at the last second. That's what you're doing to your mind. So, how do you stop it? First, stop pretending. You can shut off your thoughts. You can't. Trying to force your mind to go blank is like trying to smooth out waves with your hands. It just makes more ripples. Instead, you redirect. You don't fight the current. You steer the boat. Start by noticing what's already in your head. Don't judge it. Don't argue with it. Just acknowledge it. I'm thinking about that argument again. Okay, my brain's stuck on money worries. This isn't about solving anything yet. It's about taking inventory, like checking the weather before you decide what to wear. Then ask yourself one question. Is this useful right now? Not, is this true? Or is this important? Just, can I do anything about this while lying in bed? If the answer's no, and it usually is, you practice letting it go, not forcefully, but like setting down a heavy bag you've been carrying all day. You don't throw it, you don't hate it, you just put it down. Here's a trick. Visualize your thoughts as leaves floating down a river. You're standing on the bank, watching them pass. You don't jump in to grab them. You don't chase them. You observe. This isn't about emptying your mind. It's about creating space between you and the noise. Now, let's talk about what you should feed your mind before sleep. Not positive vibes or forced gratitude. That's just another performance. Instead, focus on neutrality. Something simple, solid, unemotional. A mantra like "I am here," or counting your breaths backward from 100. The goal isn't to feel zen. It's to anchor yourself in something that isn't drama. And if the chaos creeps back in, good, that's normal. You're not failing. You're retraining. Every time you notice and gently redirect, you're teaching your brain, we don't do this at night anymore. It's like training a puppy. You don't yell when it chews your shoe. You replace the shoe with a toy. Over time, this changes how you sleep and how you wake up. Ever notice how some mornings you're already tense before your feet hit the floor? That's the residue of last night's mental junk food. But when you clean up the diet, you wake up lighter, Not because life got easier, but because you stopped digesting poison in the dark. The 10-minute rule. You know that feeling when you're exhausted but still glued to your phone, thumb moving on its own. That's not relaxation. That's your brain getting hijacked. Screens, phones, TVs, laptops emit blue light, which tricks your body into thinking it's midday. Your cortisol spikes, melatonin, the sleep hormone gets blocked, and your brain stays in go mode. But here's what nobody tells you. The damage isn't just the light, it's the content. Every swipe, every notification, every headline is a mental grenade. You're bombarding your mind with chaos right before it's supposed to power down. Imagine revving a car engine full throttle, and then suddenly turning it off. That's what you're doing to your nervous system. The fix, the 10-minute rule. 10 minutes before you want to sleep, all screens go off. Not I'll just check one more thing. Off. And here's the key. Replace the habit. Don't just remove it. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you just stare at the ceiling, your brain will panic and reach for the phone. So you need a bridge. A ritual that tells your body, we're shifting gears now. Try this. Sit somewhere quiet, even on the edge of your bed. Set a timer for 10 minutes. No music, no podcast, just silence. Then ask yourself, what's one thing I'm carrying that I can put down, not solve? Put down. Maybe it's a resentment, a tomorrow's deadline, a stupid thing you said. Don't analyze it. Just name it and imagine setting it on a shelf. You can pick it back up tomorrow if you want, but for now, it stays there. This isn't about achieving inner peace. It's about creating a buffer between the noise of the day and the silence of sleep. Most people crash directly from go, go, go into sleep now. No wonder they're restless. You need a neutral zone, like a decompression chamber for your mind. What if you can't sit still? Good. That means it's working. Your brain's addicted to stimulation. Sitting quietly will feel wrong at first, like quitting caffeine. But the discomfort is the rewiring. Every minute you resist the urge to grab your phone, you're strengthening the muscle of stillness. And if thoughts rush in, let them. Don't fight them. Imagine your mind is a conveyor belt. Thoughts come in. You acknowledge them. Yep, there's that worry about the meeting, and you let them move along. You're not the boss of what thoughts appear, only how long you hold on to them. After 10 minutes, go to bed. No, just one quick check. The rule is ironclad. Why? Because you're teaching your brain a new association. Darkness means sleep, not scrolling. It might take nights, it might take weeks, but eventually your body will learn. You'll start yawning on cue. Your eyes will feel heavy, not because you're forcing sleep, but because you've stopped fighting it. The forgotten breath trick. You breathe about 20,000 times a day without thinking. But what if just 5 of those breaths, done with intention, could change how you sleep, how you wake up, and how you move through your days? Most people treat breathing like background noise, something automatic, something you don't need to pay attention to. But the truth is, your breath is the remote control to your nervous system. And right now, you're probably using it wrong. Think about how you breathe when you're stressed. Short, shallow gulps of air like you're trying to drink through a straw. That's your body's fight or flight mode, the signal that something's wrong. Now think about how you breathe when you're deeply relaxed. Slow, smooth, effortless. That's your body's way of saying, everything's safe. We can rest now. The problem? Most people never flip that switch on purpose. They wait for their body to figure it out on its own. and then they wonder why they can't sleep. Here's the forgotten trick. The exhale is more important than the inhale. When you stretch out your exhale longer than your inhale, you send a direct signal to your nervous system. Stand down. No threats here. It's not about relaxing, it's about hacking your biology. Try it right now. Inhale for 3 seconds. Exhale for 6. Do it 5 times. Don't force it. Don't try to feel anything. Just move the air. If you did it right, you might notice something strange. Your shoulders dropped without you telling them to. Your jaw unclenched. Your heartbeat slowed. That wasn't magic. That was your body responding to the oldest command it knows. Breathe like the danger is gone. Now let's talk about why this works before sleep. When you're lying in bed, your mind is still racing from the day. Your thoughts are loud. Your body is tense. You can't just tell yourself to relax. Your nervous system doesn't respond to words. It responds to rhythm. A long exhale is the rhythm of safety. It's the same pattern your body naturally follows when you're already asleep. By mimicking it, you're tricking your system into shutting down early. But here's where people mess up. They treat it like a chore. They sit there straining, waiting for some big spiritual experience. That's not how this works. The key is boredom. Stare at the wall like you're waiting for a bus. Don't try to clear your mind. Don't try to feel peaceful. Just breathe in, breathe out, and let your body do the rest. Some nights, it'll feel like nothing's happening. That's fine. You're not here to feel it. You're here to do it. Other nights you might drift off without even realizing it. That's the point. This isn't meditation. This isn't mindfulness. This is a biological off switch. And the best part? It works even when you don't believe in it. You don't have to trust it. You don't have to be spiritual. You just have to move air in the right pattern. Your body knows what to do with the signal. So tonight, before you close your eyes, try it. 5 breaths. In for 3, out for 6. No expectations, no effort, just air. Then let go. The wrong kind of gratitude. Gratitude journals are everywhere. Write 3 things you're thankful for. Focus on the positive. But here's the problem. Forcing gratitude when you don't feel it doesn't make you happier. It makes you a liar. And your mind knows it. Think about it. When you've had a terrible day and someone tells you to just be grateful, what's your first reaction? Probably annoyance, maybe even anger. That's because fake gratitude doesn't heal anything. It just papers over the cracks. Real gratitude, the kind that actually changes how you feel, doesn't come from ignoring the bad. It comes from finding the use in the bad. That's where most people get it wrong. They think gratitude is about pretending everything's fine. It's not. It's about recognizing that even the worst moments have something to teach you. That's the difference between toxic positivity and real strength. So let's try something different. Instead of writing down 3 happy things, ask yourself, what's one hard thing today that actually helped me? Not what was good, not what do I have to be thankful for. Just what was difficult and how did it shape you? Maybe you had an argument and it showed you where your boundaries are. Maybe you failed at something and it revealed a blind spot. Maybe you felt lonely and it reminded you what you really value in people. You're not sugarcoating the pain. You're not saying, I'm glad it happened. You're just acknowledging that even the worst moments have weight. They have meaning. They leave marks. This is reverse gratitude. Finding the steel inside the struggle. It doesn't erase the bad. It just refuses to let the bad be wasted. Try it tonight. Think of one hard thing from today. Not the worst thing, not the biggest thing, just something that's done. Then ask, what did this reveal? What did this teach me? How did this make me stronger? Don't force answers. Don't make it pretty. Just look for the lesson. Some days it'll be easy. Other days you'll stare at the ceiling and think, nothing. This was just awful. That's fine. The point isn't to find a silver lining every time. The point is to train yourself to look for the shape of the wound, not just the pain. Over time, something shifts. You stop seeing problems as purely bad. You start seeing them as information. That doesn't make them hurt less, but it does make them useful, and that's real gratitude. Not a mask, not a performance, but a way of moving through the world with your eyes open. The 1 minute future you. There's a version of you that already exists. The one who wakes up tomorrow. Most people don't think about that person until they're already them, stumbling out of bed, half awake, reacting to the world before their eyes are even open. But what if you could meet that version of yourself before you become them? What if you could give them a head start? This isn't about visualizing in the way you've probably heard it before. It's not about imagining some perfect idealized version of yourself, living some perfect idealized life. That's just fantasy. This is simpler. This is about seeing the next version of you, the one who exists in about 8 hours, and giving them a single clear instruction. Here's how we're starting the day. Here's how it works. Tonight, before you sleep, close your eyes and picture yourself waking up. Not in some dramatic slow-motion movie scene. Just you, in your bed, opening your eyes. What's the first thing that version of you does? Do they reach for their phone? Do they lie there for 10 minutes, scrolling? Or do they sit up, take a breath, drink the water you left on the nightstand, and move? The key isn't to imagine something grand. It's to imagine something real. Your brain doesn't respond well to vague ideas like I'm going to have a great morning. It responds to specifics. It responds to images. So give it one. See it like a short clip playing in your head. No sound, no special effects. Just a few seconds of you doing something intentional. Why does this work? Because your brain doesn't know the difference between something you vividly imagine and something you've actually done. When you rehearse an action in your mind, you're priming your nervous system to carry it out. Athletes do this before competitions. Surgeons do it before operations. You can do it before tomorrow. But there's a catch. You can't force it. You can't try to imagine it. You just let it play. Like remembering what you did this morning. Except you're remembering something that hasn't happened yet. The more neutral you are about it, the more your brain accepts it as fact. If you strain, if you try to believe it, it feels fake. But if you just observe it, like watching a memory, your subconscious starts aligning with it. Try it tonight, 1 minute. Close your eyes. See yourself waking up, not better than you, not perfect, just ready. Then let it go. Don't obsess. Don't revisit it. Just plant the seed and walk away. When you wake up, you might not even remember doing this, but something will feel different. You'll find yourself moving in a way that matches what you saw, not because you forced it, but because your brain already recognized the pattern. This isn't about controlling the future. It's about giving it a nudge in the right direction. The sleep thief? No one talks about. You know that feeling when you're almost asleep and suddenly, did I send that email? Or I need to remember to call the bank tomorrow, and just like that, you're wide awake again. Most people blame stress or anxiety for this, but that's not quite it. The real thief isn't worry, it's unfinished business. Your brain hates loose ends. It's wired to cling to unresolved tasks like they're threats. In the wild, forgetting something could mean danger. So, when you go to bed with things hanging, your mind keeps circling them, poking at them, trying to make sure you don't forget. It's not trying to ruin your sleep. It's trying to save your life. The problem is, your brain doesn't have a filing system. It can't tell the difference between remember to buy milk and remember there's a lion outside, so it treats them the same with urgency. That's why you wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about a grocery list. Your mind is screaming, this is important, even when it's not. The solution isn't to clear your mind. That's impossible. The solution is to close the loop, to tell your brain, I've got this. You can stand down, and the way you do that isn't with meditation or relaxation tricks. It's with one piece of paper. Here's what you do. Before bed, write down one thing you're going to do tomorrow, not a to-do list, not a plan for the whole day, just one action. Email Dave back, buy groceries, pay the electric bill. That's it. Why only one? Because your brain doesn't need a full itinerary. It just needs to know that someone is handling it. When you write it down, you're essentially transferring the task from your mind's chaotic panic storage into an external system. You're saying, this isn't lost. It's right here. I'll deal with it when it's time. Most people don't do this because they think they need to solve everything before bed. But you don't. You just need to capture it. The act of writing it down is the signal to your brain. We're not forgetting this. Now shut up and let me sleep. Try it tonight, one task. Write it, then put the paper where you'll see it in the morning. Don't check it again, don't add to it. Just let it be. You'll be surprised how quickly your mind lets go. Not because the task is done, but because it's no longer your brain's job to remember. That's the secret. Sleep isn't ruined by stress. It's ruined by untied knots. And all you need is one piece of paper to start untying them. The silent alarm test. Here's a truth you already know, but probably ignore every morning. The first 10 minutes after you wake up determine the quality of your entire day. And yet, what do most people do in those precious moments? They reach for their phone, they check emails, scroll through notifications, absorb the world's chaos before their feet even touch the floor. It's like starting your day by chugging a cup of cold anxiety. But there's another way. One so simple it almost feels stupid. Place a glass of water by your bed before you sleep. When you wake up, drink it, all of it, before you check your phone. Before you even think about the day, just drink the water. This isn't about hydration. That's just a nice side effect. This is about something much deeper, reclaiming the first conscious act of your day. Right now, for most people, that act is reflexive, unconscious, a groggy hand fumbling for a screen, letting the outside world dictate their first thoughts. But when you choose to drink water first, you're doing something radical. You're making a decision. A small one, sure, but that's the point. You're proving before anything else that you're in charge. Think about how powerful that is. Before the world gets its hooks into you, before the notifications and the demands and the noise, you've already won. You've already taken an action that was yours, not something you were tricked into. The tiny victory sets a pattern. It's your subconscious. Today I lead, I don't follow. Some mornings it'll feel trivial. Other mornings, when the urge to check your phone is like an itch under your skin, it'll feel almost impossible. That's when it matters most. That's when you'll see how addicted you really are to letting outside forces control your attention from the second you wake. The water is neutral. It doesn't excite you, doesn't stress you, doesn't give you dopamine. It just is. And that's why it works. It's a reset button for your nervous system, a way to transition from sleep to wakefulness without getting hijacked. Try it for 3 days. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't turn it into some grand ritual. Just put water by your bed, and when you wake up, drink it. Notice what happens. Notice how your mind fights it. Notice how by the 3rd day, those first moments of the morning start to feel different, like they belong to you again. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. The world will still crash in. The chaos will still come. But now, it'll be meeting you on your terms, not the other way around. The 5-second nightly reset. You know that moment when you're watching a TV show, and before the new episode starts, there's a quick recap. Previously on, 3 sentences, maybe 4, just enough to remind you where things left off. There's no analysis, no commentary, just the facts. This happened, then this, then that, and with that you're caught up. Now, imagine doing that for your own life, every night. 5 seconds. No deep reflection, no journaling, no overthinking. Just a quick mental replay of the day, like scanning the headlines of your own existence. I woke up. I worked. I argued with my sister. I ate lunch too fast. I laughed at that stupid video. I worried about money. That's it. No judgment. No I should have. No why did I. Just facts. This isn't about processing your day. It's about bookmarking it. Most people either avoid thinking about their day at all, distracting themselves until they pass out, or they obsess, replaying conversations and mistakes on loop. Neither works. The first leaves your mind cluttered, like a messy desk you'll have to clean eventually. The second is like picking at a scab, ensuring it never heals. The 5-second reset is different. It's the mental equivalent of shutting down your computer properly instead of just yanking the power cord. You're giving your brain a clear signal. This day is over. We're moving on. Here's why it works. Your brain craves closure, unfinished stories, unresolved moments. They linger, taking up mental RAM. But when you acknowledge the day, even briefly, you satisfy that need. You're not digging into every detail. You're not trying to fix anything. You're just saying, this happened. I was here for it. Now it's done. Try it tonight. Lie down, close your eyes, and mentally scroll through the day, like you're flipping through a photo album. 1 image per major moment. No emotion, no analysis, just this happened, then this, then that. 5 seconds, 10, max. Some nights it'll feel pointless. Other nights, you'll notice something surprising. How quickly your body relaxes when you give it permission to let go. This isn't about self-improvement. It's about mental hygiene. You brush your teeth every night. This is the same, but for your mind. A quick scrub to clear out the debris. The magic isn't in the recap itself, it's in what happens after, the quiet that follows, when your brain finally stops whispering. Wait, we need to think about that again. That quiet is where real rest begins. Why mornings are a lie. You wake up and immediately reach for your phone. The notifications flood in. Emails, messages, news, and just like that, your day has already begun in reaction mode. Your shoulders tense, your breath gets shallow, and your mind starts racing before you've even gotten out of bed. You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll have a better morning. Tomorrow I'll start fresh. But tomorrow comes, and the same thing happens again. Here's what no one tells you. Your morning doesn't begin when you open your eyes. It begins the night before. The moment you wake up isn't some magical reset button. It's the continuation of everything you did or didn't do hours earlier. Most people treat mornings like they're a separate event, like they can suddenly become a different person just because the sun came up. But that's not how the mind works. Your thoughts, your energy, even the tightness in your muscles, they don't disappear when you sleep. They linger, they simmer, and when you wake up, you're not starting fresh. You're picking up where you left off. Think about the last time you had a truly good morning, not a perfect one, just one where you felt clear, steady, ready. Chances are, it wasn't because you did something special when you woke up. It was because of what you didn't do the night before. You didn't scroll mindlessly until your eyes burned. You didn't let unresolved worries swirl in your head. You didn't feed your mind junk before shutting it down for the night. That's the secret. Good mornings aren't created in the morning. They're created in the quiet hours before sleep, when you decide what you'll carry into the next day and what you'll leave behind. The problem is, most people go to bed like they're crashing after a long sprint. They collapse into bed exhausted, still buzzing from the day, still chewing on conversations and regrets and tomorrow's to-do list. Then they wonder why they wake up feeling like they've been hit by a truck. It's not because they slept wrong. It's because they never actually stopped running. The mind doesn't shut off just because you close your eyes. Whatever you feed it before bed becomes the fuel it burns all night. Feed it stress, and you wake up stressed. Feed it calm, and you wake up steady. It's that simple. So, what do? You don't need some elaborate nighttime routine. You don't need to journal for an hour or meditate in perfect silence. You just need to do one thing. Close the day. Not perfectly, not with some deep philosophical insight. Just deliberately take 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, to sit somewhere quiet and let your mind settle. Not to solve anything, not to plan, just to acknowledge this day is over. You can't control what happened, and you can't control what tomorrow will bring. But you can control how you leave things tonight. Try this tonight. Before you sleep, sit on the edge of your bed or in a chair, anywhere that's not where you'll be lying down. Set a timer for 5 minutes and just breathe. Not some special technique, not some forced relaxation. Just air in, air out. Let your thoughts come and go, like cars passing on the street. Don't chase them, don't judge them, just notice them and let them keep moving. When the timer goes off, get into bed, that's it. No grand ritual, no pressure to feel a certain way, just a clear, simple end to the day. When you wake up, you won't feel like a superhero. You won't leap out of bed with boundless energy, but you will notice something. The static in your head is quieter. The weight on your chest is lighter. The urge to grab your phone isn't as loud. Because you didn't just sleep last night. You finished the day. You gave your mind permission to rest instead of forcing it to keep working in the background. That's the real secret. Mornings aren't some separate thing you can fix on their own. They're the echo of the night before. If you want better mornings, stop focusing on what happens when you wake up. Start focusing on what happens before you sleep. The rest will take care of itself. The miracle isn't what you think. You're waiting for a miracle, not the kind with angels and bright lights, but the quiet kind. The one where you finally wake up, feeling rested, where your mind isn't racing before your eyes are even open, where the day stretches out in front of you with possibility instead of dread. You've been told miracles are rare, that they're accidents, that they happen to other people. But here's the truth. The miracle you're waiting for isn't something that happens to you. It's what happens when you stop getting in your own way. Most people think a good day starts with motivation. That if they just want it enough, if they just push hard enough, they'll break through to something better. But that's like trying to run on a broken leg. No amount of willpower fixes the fact that you're working against yourself. The real shift, the actual miracle, isn't about adding more effort. It's about removing the resistance. And that starts the night before. Think about how you usually go to bed. Maybe you're exhausted but still scrolling, numbing out the day's stress with one more video, one more post. Maybe you're lying there replaying conversations, worrying about tomorrow, mentally writing to-do lists. And then you wonder why you wake up feeling like you've been hit by a truck. It's not because you didn't sleep enough. It's because you never actually stopped. Your body was in bed, but your mind was still running laps. The miracle isn't some magical 8 hours of perfect sleep. It's the space between the day's end and the night's rest. Those few minutes where you decide this is done now. Not because everything is resolved, not because life is perfect, but because carrying yesterday into tonight only poisons tomorrow. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to figure anything out. You just have to let the day be over. Try this tonight. Not as a ritual, not as another task on your endless list of self-improvement projects. Just as a simple experiment. When you get into bed, take 3 breaths. Not special breaths. Not meditative breaths. Just air in, air out, and say silently, this day is finished. That's it. No journaling, no reflection, no forcing gratitude. Just a clear, firm end. Then close your eyes. When you wake up, pay attention. Not to how you feel. That's too abstract. Pay attention to what you do. Do you reach for your phone immediately? Or do you pause first? Does your body feel stiff? Or does it move easily? Are your first thoughts frantic or are they quiet? The difference won't be dramatic. It might be subtle, barely noticeable. But that's the point. Miracles aren't loud. They're not fireworks. They're the absence of the noise that's been drowning you out for years. This isn't about controlling your life. It's about noticing where you've been fighting it. The clenched jaw before sleep. The racing mind in the dark. The way you brace for impact before your feet even touch the floor in the morning. These aren't just habits. They're wounds. And the miracle isn't some grand healing. It's the moment you stop poking at them. People will tell you transformation takes time, that you need systems, discipline, years of practice. But that's not quite true. The shift happens in an instant. The instant you decide the night is for rest, not rehearsal. The instant you stop treating sleep as an interruption between days and start treating it as the bridge. The instant you realize the best morning routine doesn't start in the morning. It starts the moment you choose to leave today behind. You don't need more tips. You don't need another hack. You just need to do one thing. Stop carrying what isn't yours, the guilt that isn't yours, the worry that isn't yours, the endless responsibility for things you can't control. Put it down. Not forever, just for tonight. That's the miracle. Not that life gets easier, but that you stop making it so hard. Try this for 2 nights, then tell me it doesn't work. And if you're ready for more, the next video is waiting.